Hi, welcome back everyone for another Montana Tech Oregon Games. We are live here in Butte, Montana, facing off against Western Washington University. This is actually my hometown, Bellingham, so shout out to all the Vikings. Thanks for coming out and visiting us. Looking forward to a good game. Yeah, I'll touch back base when everybody gets back on the ice. All right, welcome back, folks. Western Washington back on the ice. Pretty cold in the rink today. I think this is the first time it's ever been colder in the rink in January here than it has been outside.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us in tonight's game between the Montana Tech Orators and Western Washington University Vikings. Tonight's starting lineups for WWE. We have left defense 33, Ethan Sack. Right defense number 11, Cooper Hutchinson. Left wing number 91, Aaron Jennings. Center, Brett Birnbaum. Right wing, Andrew Finn. And goalie, Nolan Marino. And for Montana Tech Orators, we have left defense number 5, Ethan Long. Right defense 29, Mason Kramer. Left wing 21, Jack Leasty. Center number 27, Ty Perrier. Right wing number 10, Kay Holland. And goalie number 30, Charlie Lang. Now, folks, get ready for tonight's presentations of Canadian and American national anthems.
All right, that's the national anthems. Let's get back to some hockey. This is the first time these two teams will be playing. And this has been a big turnaround year for both of them, as far as I know. Montana Tech and Western Washington University have both picked up their own players from the WHL this year. Andrew Fan for Western Washington and Ty Carrier for Montana Tech. Both have been instrumental in the team's successes this season. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these two players can match up with on the ice tonight.
Let's get this game started by countdown. Montana Tech Warriors versus the University of Western Washington.
All right, Carrier face off. Carrier wins. The scramble. Montana Tech takes it back. Holland off the left wing, off the glass and into the ceiling. All right, Carrier face off again. Center ice. Carrier wins. Gets back to. Sorry, it's going to take a minute to learn the names again. It's been a minute. That was Mason Kramer. Perfect. Looks like we're going to have a face-off in the Montana Tech offensive zone. Over to DeLici. DeLici shot on net. Around the back. DeLici poke checks, takes control again, sends it back over to Kramer. Kramer scrambling at the boards. Western takes it past the blue, past the red, into the offensive zone. Western sends it cross, back across. Carrier just gets a piece of it. Battle behind the net. That's going to be Elam behind the net. Elam taking it up left, sends it up the boards. DeLici trying to get a pass, gets it into the blue. Carrier going for a change. DeLici chases in behind the net, finishes the hit. Holland with it by the boards. Western gets it from Holland. Western behind the net. A little bit of contact there. Looks like he was sweeping him out from under him with a judo kick. Back in the Montana Tech defensive zone. Cleared. It's offsides. Montana Tech making a push down the ice. Sends it up the boards over to... Ooh, who is three? Is that Beer? No, that's Luc Benoit. Benoit, big hit on the boards. Montana Tech finishing their hits tonight. Western's going down like a bunch of dominoes. Shot up the boards into the offensive zone. Moreno behind the net. Sends it out. Western clears the zone. Reach pass down the ice. Western picks it up after it's deflected off the skates. Shot saved by Lang. Montana Tech trying to clear out of the zone. That's up the boards. Sent across, intercepted by Western, kept in the zone. Shot on net, Lang saves it. Rebound, goes wide. Johnson tries to keep it in. Battle for the boards up near the blue. Montana Tech takes it back behind their own net. That's Riblinger. There we go. Montana Tech sends it down the ice. Looks like they're going to go for a change. No icing. Graves back on the ice this semester after getting off of academic probation. Graves is down. That's not Graves. Sending around the boards behind the Montana Tech net. It was 16. 17, that's Warman. Back after a couple of years. I played with him 2 years ago. It's good to see him back on the ice. Montana Tech has another heavy hitter. Warman against the boards again. Carrier with a poke check. Goes all the way back, and that's going to be Benoit that picks it up. No. Yes. No. Riplinger. Benoit. Riplinger. Who is 16? Am I even reading that right? It's going to be called offsides. Who is 16? All right, that makes sense why I don't know who 16 is. He's not on my sheet. I will find that out immediately. All right, Carrier at the face-off. Back to Elam. Elam chucks it in the zone. Off the pads of Morena. Holland with a huge hit in the boards. That's Kramer with a shot. Off of Western. Western clears the zone. Kramer's back to get the puck. Kramer with the puck in the zone. He's got 2 on him. Back behind the Montana Tech net. And Western takes control of the puck. Western sends it back to the point, but it's going to be Holland that picks it up. Holland, center ice. That's over to DeLici. DeLici loses the puck. Western takes control. Battle at the blue. Western takes control of the puck. Holland goes for a poke check. Gets sent back into the Montana Tech zone. It's going to be Elam chasing it back, and it's icing. Face off in the Western zone. Montana Tech wins the face-off, but Western beats him to the puck. Kramer's going to take it off of the breakaway. Kramer circling around. Kramer skates past the blue. Intercepted at the red. Western pokes it back in. Holland battling at the board, sends it over, and that's going to be Elam picking it up in the corner. Elam sends it up long. DeLici picks it up at the blue, passes it off to Carrier. Carrier walks it in, back in the corner. Carrier walking a little further, goes down to one knee. Shot from Holland, deflected by Morena. Carrier in the corner again. Western's going to pop it out, send it back around the net. Asher battling against the boards. Holland in the corner. Carrier tries to move the puck around the Western defender, and 34. There we go. 34 is going to walk with it across the ice, and Montana Tech's going to poke it back in. Western with a long shot across, almost hits the ref. Ref's fearing for his life again, and it's going to go off the boards and be called icing. Face off in the Western defensive zone once again. Face off, back over to the point. That's Ripplinger keeping it in the zone. Battle behind the net. Nobody's on the puck. Both Shockey and Benoit battling. Up at the point. Shockey in front of the net. Backhand shot or tip, and Morena is going to tip it wide. Up to the point. Secord tracing down the puck. 16 again. Back down to the Montana Tech zone. That's going to be Ripplinger chasing that puck down. Ripplinger with the puck, walking up the Montana Tech zone. He's going to take it past the blue, past the red, and he's going to dump the puck. Go for a change. Benoit chasing down the puck. Holland. Western walks it into the offensive zone. Drop pass back to the point. 2 Montana Techs on him. One of them pokes the puck. It's going to be sent out. That's going to be Benoit walking down into the offensive zone. Bottom of the slot. Shot! Gets a hold of it, and it's just wide of the net. Western takes it down. Past the blue. Hit on the boards by Benoit. Benoit goes down and ends up getting it down into the offensive zone. DeLici putting pressure on. DeLici finishes a big check on the boards. At least I think it was a big check. I couldn't really see it. Sounded like one. All right, back behind the boards again. That's DeLici again in the corner. Western pops it out. Takes it past the red. Past the blue. It's a 2-on-2. Flicks it towards the center, and it's just long. DeLici grabs the puck against the boards. Over to Carrier. Carrier getting pressured against the boards. Holland Holland can't quite keep it on his stick, and Western's going to take it behind their own net. Holland with a huge check. Holland's had a couple of those tonight. He's always been a big hitter, but he's after him today. Graves is down. Western's going to take it out of the zone. A chip out. Graves up against the boards again. Graves circling around. Looks like Graves is going to go for another hit. That's Inman, and it looks like we're going to have a cross-checking call. That's Nick Warman for his first penalty in 2 years. It's good to see he's back in the box, just as I remember. I believe that's Shockey taking the face-off. Montana Tech's first penalty kill of the night. Gets it out of the zone, right towards Morena. Good start to the kill. Western with a stretch pass down to the blue. It's a 2-on-2. Lang with a save. Goes high, falls down in the slot. Back in the corner. Western up. They're going to send it back into the corner. Chase it behind the net. Ethan Elam with a nice poke check. And Elam's going to clear it back down to the ice again. That's Montana Tech's second clear in the first 30 seconds of the power play. Penalty kill. Western looking to make another push. Sends it to the red. Dumps it in. Elam's going to pick it up. Elam clears the zone again. Elam's been a cornerstone of the Montana Tech defense ever since he joined the team back in 2023. No, 2024. Fall of 2024. I swear I've been at this college so long, all the years keep blending together. Battle against the boards. Western's going to pick it up. He's going to walk back up to the point, send it to center at the blue. Back into the corner. Western sent it to slot, and it's whiffed. Out of the zone, and Western's going to have to reset. 33 seconds left in the power play. Western setting up for another push. Walks it in past the blue, back at the point, back down to the corner. Holland with another big hit. I should be keeping count of these tonight. Holland with a nice pass intercept. Good read on the play there. Holland's going to walk down. It's a 2-on-1. Attempted pass over to Carrier is just long. Montana Tech lagging on the chase. And Lang's going to glove it down to end the power play. Montana Tech back up to full strength. Shockey again taking the face off in the defensive zone. On the boards, it looks like it's a wrestling match in the defensive zone. Both players refusing to get up, and it's 16 again, that I don't know who they are. Western struggling to keep control of the puck in the offensive zone. Montana Tech's really putting the pressure on him. Shockey goes down off of his own hit, and Western's going to try to keep it in the slot. Nice poke by 16. Really, who is this guy? Western's going to try to keep it out of their own zone, and Montana Tech's going to take control. That's Inman with the puck. Sends it up. Stretch pass over to Ripplinger, who picks it up and dumps it in behind the net. In the corner, that's Benoit. Benoit, nice battle for the puck. Thank you. 16 is Cooper Coates. I will do my best to remember that. Elam with a slap shot right from the center of the circle. Shockey's going to battle for the corner. Elam with another shot, and it's going to be held onto by Morena. Both goalies under a decent amount of fire tonight. It's a good game. Elam's going to take it into the Montana Tech zone. Sends it up to the point. Western's going to take a shot. Goes behind, deflected off behind the boards. Western picks it up at the point again, and it's a hit from Graves. Warman's going to chip it out. Graves in the corner with the puck. Battling. Western's going to take it out. Past the blue, past the red, past the blue again into the offensive zone. Take a shot. It's going to be deflected wide by Lang. Kramer in the corner. Graves is going to take it. Send it up over to... That was Lumen. All right, I think this is my first time seeing Lumen on the ice this year. Good to see some new faces. It's going to be Carrier taking the face-off in the defensive zone again. Carrier wins the face-off back. Elam gets the puck. Elam kicks it into the corner. Carrier sends it off the boards. Western tries to glove it down and can't quite get a hold of it. I guess there's a reason they're not catchers in baseball. Holland facing it down. Goalie's out of the net. Carrier grabs the puck. Oh! Carrier just misses it. Loses control. Western's going to...
Sean, representing 2 minutes for too many men on the ice.
Looks like I missed a penalty. Montana Tech is on the kill again. Ripplinger for too many men in the ice. Western with a shot from the slot. Not from the slot, from the side of the circle. Lang is going to deflect it wide, and Montana Tech is going to get the chance to reset. Carrier's going to get the puck. Holland Carrier putting the pressure in the offensive zone. Western taking it down. They've got a 3-on-2. Shot goes wide. Face off into the boards. Kramer with a big hit into the boards. I hope he's all right. That looked like it might have been a little bit of head contact with the boards, not the player. Kramer's still moving all right. Shot blocked by Shockey. Western's going to keep it in. Not for long, though. Ripplinger puts the pressure on and gets it out of the zone. Western going for a little bit of a reset. 34 seconds left in the power play. Western at the point. Oh, shot. Western's going to score, slipping it past Lang. Western's been showing some real grit in the offensive zone tonight, making sure they win those battles for the puck in the offensive zone. In the same sense, though, Montana Tech is not giving them a break. That goal was hard-earned. Shockey taking the face-off. Western takes it back into their own zone. Shockey. Shot, deflected wide. Shockey, big hit on the boards. Western's going to clear it out of the zone. Cross-ice pass, taking the pass the red, past the blue into the offensive zone. Gonna circle back. Ref is in the way. Johan, get out of there. Ripplinger taking it into the offensive zone. Oisley's gonna take the puck, wrap it around the boards. Delici at the red. Delici to Ripplinger and back again. They're gonna take it into the offensive zone. Drop pass to Delici. Delici shot goes off of Moreno's shoulder. Back behind the net. Benoit's gonna take it, send it out. There's nobody there. Elam gets a hold of the puck. Ripplinger chucks it into the zone. And that's going to be Benoit chasing it in. Benoit finishes the hit. That looked slow, but it hit really hard. It's going to be icing on Western. Montana Tech face off. Delici with a shot slips past Morena. I believe that was deflected off a skate off the face-off, and Delici just walks into the slot, grabs it, and takes the shot. A lot of folks in front of the net there. Hard for Morena to see it. Montana Tech is now on the board, and it's 1-1. Carrier wins the face-off. Back over at the red. It's going to get sent back into the zone, into the defensive zone. Montana Tech attempts to clear it, goes high and into the ceiling again.
Montana Tech goal scored by number 21, Jack Delici, assisted by number 13, Sean.
Looks like Sean Ripplinger is going to get the assist for that goal by Jack Delici. Montana Tech in the defensive zone. Trying to get control of the puck. Western's battling hard for it. Howland ends up coming out strong. Sends it down the ice. And Morena's going to send it off to the side. Holland back to the center. Western picks up the puck. Intercepted by Carrier. Western grabs it anyways. Asher sends it across the ice. Ripplinger attempts to lift it down the ice, and Western's going to block it. Battle. Holland over. Carrier's going to pick it up, take it into the zone. Western's down in front of the net. Holland tries to ram it in 5-hole and can't quite get it through.
Montana Tech officially their sponsor is different. Thanks to them, the people of players should stay.
Western wins the face-off in the defensive zone. James is going to take it down the ice. Cross. Western tries to get in front of the net. Western scores. Dirty goal. Got to be pushing those guys away from the crease.
Goal for Western Washington University.
Lang looks like he gets his legs spread a little bit wide. Can't quite recover from the slide. Chalky at the face-off, 2-1 Western. Elam's going to take it on the boards. Benoit right there with him. Looks like Benoit is actually going to take it. He's going to circle up. Skating with it, past the blue, past the red. Past the blue again into the offensive zone. Western's going to clear it immediately. Western into the offensive zone. Western with a goal again. Walked into the zone by James and scored by number 5. Let's see who that is. Brett Brumbaugh. Couple goals in quick succession there for Western. It's a well-placed shot by Western, just barely clipped by the shin pad of Lang. There we go. Montana Tech in the defensive zone again.
This period by number 91, Andrew James, assisted by number 16.
Montana Tech clears the zone. It's Bialcini. Icing on Montana Tech.
This period scored by Red Brown, assisted by number 91, Andrew James, and number 33, Vincent Gold.
Little note to the public, you might not have heard earlier. Oh, never mind. Carrier's in the corner, or not in the corner. Center, walks it around, slips it past Morena. What a time for the announcer to get distracted. I think that's the third time Carrier's attempted that goal tonight. This time he slips it past Morena. Montana Tech has now made it a one-goal game once again. Maybe I should get distracted as an announcer more often. Montana Tech might score more goals. You know what they say? Watch kettle never boils. Montana Tech's going to send it down to the offensive zone. Holland finishes a check in the boards. Western gets it back behind the net. Western dumps it out past the point, and it's going to get cleared into the Montana Tech defensive zone. Lang's going to get the puck. Kramer's going to send it around the boards, and Elam's going to battle in the corner. Kramer. Bouncing puck at the blue. Western can't quite keep it in. Delici battling hard for the puck. Holland finishes another check. And that is going to be called. What is Johan doing now? I actually don't know what that call was. Must have been icing. I thought it went off someone, but I guess I must be confused. Western wins the faceoff, but Delici gets to the puck first, behind the net. Back to Asher. Asher at the point. Asher tries to fling it towards the net. It's deflected off a Western skater, and Ripplinger picks it up. Ripplinger dumps it into the offensive zone. And Montana Tech's moving in a chase. Delici against the boards. Carrier behind the net. Delici back over to the point. Asher's going to send it towards the net again. It's deflected wide by Moreno. Carrier behind the net. In front of the circle. Carrier with a shot. Moreno can't quite glove it down. Western's going to grab the puck and get it out of the zone. Cross-ice pass to Holland. Holland whiffs on the puck a little bit. Holland with an attempted move. Western's going to take the puck. Western rips it around the boards. And that's Holland in the corner. Holland with a random shot from the boards that almost slips past Morena. And looks like folks are getting a little bit feisty. It's a physical game tonight. Shockey taking his face off in the offensive zone. Western ends up with the puck after a scuffle. Montana Tech steals it at center ice again, but Western's going to pick it up after it's dumped. Ripplinger hot on Western's heels. Big hit on Benoit. Shockey sends it over to the slot, and Ripplinger can't quite get there. Intercepted by Western. Back down to the Montana Tech defensive zone. 30 seconds left in the first period. 31, my dive. Chalky at the faceoff. Chalky wins the faceoff. Ripplinger is going to take a shot, sneak it through the. That's Benoit off the faceoff, sneaking it through the screen and just under the glove side of Morena. What a shot! You know, I'm pretty sure I saw Cole Caulfield do something just like that the other week. Carry it to face off. It's now a tie game with 25 seconds left in the first. Western rushing in, and it's going to be called offsides. Face off just outside the Montana Tech offensive zone. It's going to get poked by Ripplinger and Shockey. Battling for it. Shockey is going to come away with the puck, it looks like. Out to Ripplinger. Ripplinger shot. Wraps around the boards. Back up. Up at the point. Western's going to take it down the ice. It's a 2-on-1. Shot deflected by Lang. Lang's going to send it out of the zone, and that's the end of the first period. What an exciting last minute of this game against Western versus Montana Tech. For those folks from Western watching at home, my home, I guess they're both my home, because I'm from Bellingham. Montana Tech is doing a travel over to Western this next weekend. Please visit the Sportsplex and give my players a warm welcome. I say my players, our players. All right, thanks, folks. I'll be back at the end of the intermission. Welcome back for period 2 here in Butte, Montana. So for the folks watching back home in Bellingham, Butte, Montana has this thing called the Berkeley Pit. It's a giant toxic mine waste pond that they have to use cannons to scare geese off of every year. That said, I'm still not sure which one I'd rather swim in. The Berkeley Pit in Butte, Montana, or Lake Patton. Western's going to win the face-off, walk it into the Montana Tech zone, dumps it in behind the net. Benoit is going to take it out, over to Holland. Holland's going to send it up to DeLici. DeLici past the red, past the blue into the offensive zone. Around the ref, get out of the way. Holland, Benoit back behind the boards, battling in the corner. Ref is in the way again. This time it's not Johan, which is a little surprising. Oh. Western's going to clear the zone. Western sends it back in again. 75. Andrew Fan, pass across, attempted over to Brumbaugh, but it's just long. Carrier walks past the red, past the blue, drop past to DeLici. DeLici's going to walk around. Attempted shot, blocked by Western. Goes wide into the corner, and it's going to be Holland chasing it down. Western gets it out. Past the blue, past the red, past the blue again, into the offensive zone. Poke check by Elam. Attempted one-timer in front of the net. Goes past, shot, deflected wide by Lang. Western's going to control the puck for a little bit, but looks like that is, oh, I know that name. Thank you, Lumen. Lumen's going to poke check it to clear the zone. Elam getting tied up, can't quite get a hold of the puck, sends it back to center at the blue. Shot, deflected high and wide. In the corner, Shockey, Kramer battling behind the net. Poked out by Elam. Battle at the point. Over in the corner, grabbed by Kramer. Kramer's going to walk out of the zone, or not, circling back around. Sends it to Elam. Elam on the boards, has to send it up off the boards, and it's going to be picked up by Lumen. Wow, I will get it. Riplinger sends it back over. That's Lumen again. Can't quite get a hold of the puck. Western sends it over to the boards. Shockey tries to get in there. It's going to be offsides on Riplinger. I realized I made a crucial mistake over the break. I forgot to grab another beer. Graves at the face-off. Graves wins the face-off over to Inman. Inman's going to dump it into the offensive zone. Graves is going to chase. Graves going behind the net. Western's going to pick it up, take it out. Asher pokes it up. Inman skating for the puck. It's going to be Warman getting a little bit feisty down there again. Western, 1-on-4, and Lang is going to glove it down. Face off the Montana Tech defensive zone, won by Tech behind the net. Goes over to Asher. Asher sends it up the boards. That's going to be DeLici. DeLici over to Carrier. Carrier to DeLici. DeLici takes it into the zone. Sends it across ice over to Holland. Holland rips it on the ice. Goes wide. DeLici poked by Western. Western sends it up the boards. Asher's back. It's a 2-on-1. Asher goes down. Over the side. Amazing save by Lang. If Brembo had lifted that a little bit more, that would have been a goal for Western. Great job keeping an eye on the puck by Lang once again. Big slip up there by Tech, giving up that 2-on-1. It's not what we want to see at this tight of a game. Holland's going to grab the puck, take it out. Delici into the offensive zone. Delici sends it over to Holland. Holland, shot, goes wide around the boards. Carrier is going to pick it up. Into the corner. Holland sends it towards center ice, but it's intercepted by Western. Sorry. Oh! Towards the slot. Attempt to tip in by Delici. Morena gets a hold of it. Western sends it over. Fan. Shot. Deflected wide. In front of the net. Deflected out into the center of the slot by Lang. Shot towards Lang again. Lang gloves it down. Lang's been giving up a couple of these big rebounds right near the slot. That's how Western's been putting a couple in tonight. Face off. It's in the slot. Bouncing puck. Oh, that kind of looked like a high stick there. Shockey sends it down. Dumped. Chased by Ripplinger. Ripplinger behind the net. Western's going to send it up and on a play. Face up by Shockey in the offensive zone. Off the boards. Good back check by Ripplinger. Sends it up and back. Elam battling at the corner. Elam gets a hold of the puck, wraps around behind. Over to Bernard. Elam. Up the boards. Over to Ripplinger. Ripplinger's walking down the ice. Shot deflected wide by Morena. Puck's wrapped around. Western's taking it up the side. Refs playing hopscotch. Shockey in the corner. Sends it up the boards. Morena sends it over to Western. For all you parents watching, tell your kids at Western to go visit McKay's Tap House. They have the best pizza in Bellingham, in my opinion. And it's not a very humble opinion because I grew up right there. The chicken bacon ranch pizza is to die for. Plus they have great root beer. And beer if you're old enough. Montana Tech dumps it down to the offensive zone. It's kind of fun watching some of these players that my brother played with in the past now playing at my home college that I'm announcing. I would say it's a small world, but we're only 2 states away. Carrier with the face-off wins it back. Shot. Taken in by Morena. All right, Delici at the face-off. Sends it back behind the boards. Western's going to grab it, wrap around the net. Carrier is there, tries to finish a hit, doesn't quite make it. Western clears the zone, but Delici's there to grab the puck. Delici sends it back. It's going to be Holland grabbing it. One man on. Over, and it's Carrier grabbing it. Delici takes it into the zone. Asher with a shot. Deflected up by a stick and glove down by Morena. I don't think we had the pairing of Holland, Carrier, and Delici last season, but I'm really liking it in this game. Kramer with an attempted clapper goes wide of the net. In the slot, Western picks it up. Nobody's quite there. Western sends it up high, down past the blue. Western dumps, and they're going to chase. Asher's in behind the boards. Asher kicks it out. It's going to wrap around. Sent over to Carrier. Carrier's center ice at the red. Walks it in past the blue. In front of the net. Deflected out by Western. Morena's down, getting up pretty slow. Delici with a poke, and Asher's going to grab it. Asher past the red, past the blue. He's going to drop it back over to Holland. Holland poked, gets the puck back, gets back to Ripplinger. Ripplinger is going to send it back over to, that is, oh, I know it. Come on. Oh, that's Ripplinger to Ripplinger. That's why it was tripping me up. Oh, the brothers. Anyways, back to the game. Chipped into the offensive zone by Western, but they're going to go for a change. Montana Tech gets the puck. Ripplinger sends it back. Western gets the puck. He's in the slot in front of Lang. Blocked by Lang. Can't quite clear it out of the slot. It's back in front. Western doesn't see the puck, and it goes wide into the boards. Western still with the puck, sends it behind. That's going to be 16. Who is 16?
16.
Coates. Thank you. Cooper Coates. Ripplinger shoved into the boards there. Shot from the point, glove down by Moreno. All right. Face off in the defensive zone. Won by Western. Walks it towards the center. Holland sends it back. Carrier picks it up. Over to Benoit. Benoit is going to walk into the offensive zone. It's called offsides. Western walks it in. Over to the slot. Shot. Saved by Lang. Can't control the rebound. Western takes it into the boards. Delici. Benoit in the corner. He's going to send it over to Elam behind the net. Elam's going to walk around, send it up to Benoit? No, Delici. Carrier walks it down past the blue. Carrier with a shot. Deflected wide. Benoit's stricken down, sticks tangled up. Are we going to see a call here? Scramble in front of the net that I missed because I was watching something else, which I shouldn't have been. And Western's going to have a one-on-one. 2-on-1. Oh, attempted shot to nine. Really cool move attempted by Brumbaugh. Can't quite finish it though. Inman's going to poke it into the zone. Off of Inman. Inman takes it into the boards. Tries to stand in front of the net. Nobody's there. Or people are there, but it doesn't make it. That's going to go high and hit the ceiling.
That one, it was right on that blue line.
Face off in the offensive zone. Battle in the corner, that's Coates. Got it. Nope, not Coates. Oh gosh, that's Lumen. There's two new defensemen. Yeah, it's there. It's there in my head. Almost a reflex. All right, Western's going to clear the zone, it looks like. Yep, off the boards. It's going to make it back to Kramer. Asher Ripplinger. Ripplinger off the boards, down into the corner. Walks down. Over off the boards. Shockey. Sets it down. Kramer, that was an interesting hit. Out in front of the slot, nobody's there. Tech going for a change. Western asking for a stretch pass over at center ice. Gets to the other one, makes it to him. Battle behind the boards. Western's going to go for the wraparound. In the slot. Lang saves that. What is this call? Lang was sitting down, and the shot goes high, and it looks like he's able to glove it down anyways. Face off. Graves in the defensive zone. One off the boards and out. Icing called on Montana Tech. One by Western. Clapper from the top of the blue. Wrap around and a shot from the slot off Montana Tech's stick. Ripplinger battling behind the net. Ripplinger over to Graves. Graves up against the boards. Towards the slot. Kramer's there to pick it off. Inman's going to walk it down past the red. Past the blue. Shot. Saved by Moreno.
O'Reilly wants to fight.
Face off in the Montana Tech defensive zone. Carrier wins the face off, goes behind the net. Battle. Carrier's over on the boards again, trying to pick it out. Benoit sends it around. Delici kicks it, clears the zone. Western's going to take the puck and wrap it back in. Elam's there to shut him down. Western gets it back to the point. When did we get a penalty? How do I keep missing these? What was it?
The last whistle blow.
It's Sawyer Inman, 2 minutes in the box. Oh, short-handed chance. Great save by Morena. Good job keeping an eye on the puck there. Westerns taking it down, 3-on-2, 3-on-3. Scramble in front of the net, and the net's off.
Another penalty, slashing.
Minor penalty, slashing.
70 something. 77.
That's going to be on Shockey. Montana Tech on their first 5-on-3 of the night. 8 minutes left in the third period. No, in the second period with a tie game. Minute left of 5-on-3. Face-off won by Western. Shot, saved by Lang. That was a close call on that blocker side. Lang just slightly out of position there, able to get a hold of it. In the slot, sends it across. Nobody gets a hold of it. Elam chasing down that puck. Western walks to the center of the slot across the circle. Whiffs on it, gets it back. Center at the top, over to the circle. Shot goes wide. Looks like it rolled off the tip of Brumbaugh's stick there. Western keeps it in the zone. It's over to Secord. Saved by Lang. Lang recovering. Another save. Close call there with Lang. Both teams getting a little feisty. Now, I don't know about the rest of you folks, but I'd love to see this become a short little rivalry here. Face-off won by Western, but not really because it goes out of the zone and then they have to reset. Back into the Western offensive zone. It's 5-on-4. 41 seconds left on 5-on-4. Tech clears it. It's going to get down to Moreno. Western setting up again. Chapman walks it into the zone. My brother played with Chapman once. Actually, more than once. James. Gonna send it back. Chapman again. Over to Lang, sent wide. Western and Montana Tech is now back at full strength. Intercepted by Kramer. Nice stick. Kramer controls the puck and sends it out of the zone. Great power play kill by Montana Tech. It's exactly what we want to see from this team. Several stupendous saves by Lang during that power play as well.
Text on the power play.
What?
Text on the power play.
Ah, Tech's on the power play.
Man,
Andrew fans in the box. And you think I don't have eyes? Oh, I keep missing these power plays. It's a good thing I'm not a ref, isn't it? I say isn't it, but there's nobody to respond. So I'll respond to myself. Yes, it's a good thing I'm not a ref. Elam tries to send a pass across the blue. And it's deflected out. Elam with the puck again. Going for a reset. Send it across over to Benoit. Looks like Andrew's in the box for charging. Face off in the offensive zone for Tech. Delici tries to walk it across. Attempted send back to Elam at the point, but it just gets missed, and Montana Tech has to reset. It's going to get sent over to Carrier. Carrier over to Holland. Holland walks it into the zone, wraps it around the boards. Benoit in the corner. Benoit over to Holland, back to Benoit. Benoit in the corner, Holland. Net's off. That's what it is. All right. Face off, won by, I don't know, but it's in the Montana Tech defensive zone. Picked up by Eliam. Great hustle by Western there, putting the pressure on Tech. Benoit walks it into the zone. Behind the net. Benoit walking around the offensive zone like it's a skating rink. Oh, wait, it is a skating rink. I meant speed skating rink. Elam over at the point. Carrier, top of the circle. Walks it in behind the boards. Back to, who is that? Delici? Elam. Benoit. Holland. Holland, across the ice. That's Western. Now with an opportunity, shorthanded. Sends it to the center. Carrier picks it up. Holland, now with an extra man advantage. Sorry, it's a 2-on-2. Deflected high and out of play. Good hustle by Western there, getting on that puck. Face off, won by Tech into the bars. Or won by. That's Lumen, Asher. Behind the back. Ripplinger in the corner, battling for the puck. That's Lumen coming in behind the net. Western gets the puck. Lumen's down. Ripplinger and Lumen battling. Asher tries to get his knee on the puck, and it's going to go into the Montana Tech defensive zone for icing. .328 left in the second period. Montana Tech face off in the offensive zone. Asher in the corner behind the net. Sends it around. It's going to be picked up by Ripplinger. Western's on them like Hawks. And they end up battling for the puck on the boards. Western's going to grab it in the slot. Shot. Deflected. Lang saved by Lang. Slit in front of the net. It's going to be picked up by Kramer. Kramer walks it out of the zone. Is that an offsides call? No, I don't know what call that was. Oh, by the way, I just realized, for those viewers that might be confused, Johan is one of our refs here. And I do know him. Probably not as much as he would like for me to be saying the things I'm saying, but that's all right. I'm not a player. Delici. Holland. Saved by Morena. Face off in the offensive zone from Montana Tech. It's gonna end up behind the net. Holland wraps it around the boards up to Elam. Elam sends it towards the net. Carrier is gonna pick it up in the corner after it's deflected wide. Carrier sends it over to the point. Benoit sends it down into the corner. Delici battling for the puck. That's Holland behind the net. Elam, Holland. Back over.
Too many players on ice.
Montana takes on their second penalty of the night for too many men. Not sure what's going on here. Benoit battling in the corner. Western wins it back to the point, walks to the center. Shot from the side of the circle. Goes to the side and a backdoor goal by Brumbaugh. Wide open net. Not much of a chance for Lang to get that one. All right, folks, it's time to carry at the face-off again. Montana Tech is back to full strength and down one more goal. 4-3 Western. Western in the corner. Big hit. Kramer's battling. Delici. Montana Tech has yet to take the lead tonight. Holland's going to walk it into the offensive zone. Shot wide. Delici goes around the corner. It's going to be Kramer there to pick it up. Kramer kicks it down towards the net. Picked up by Western. Western's going to clear it out of the zone. Asher's there on the back check. Touches center ice. Asher's there to pick up the pass. Holland around the corner. Delici. Slett. Intercepted by Kramer. Kramer's going to dump it down into the offensive zone. No icing. Western turns it around, takes it back in the offensive zone. Shot deflected out by Asher. That's the favorite kind of work I like to see my goalie doing. None. Kramer's going to take that puck. Kramer clears it out of the zone, but can't keep a hold of it. Shockey's going to pick it up, walk it into the offensive zone. Shockey, shot, wide. Elam's got a guy on him, picked up by Benoit. Benoit over across the ice. Move, and Western guy goes into the boards. Ripplinger sends it down the ice. Goalie's chasing down the puck. That was almost a little bit of a kerfuffle there. Good word, kerfuffle. And that's all for the second period, folks. 4-3 Western. I'll see you after the second intermission. Welcome back, folks, for the third and final period of the first matchup ever between these two teams. Western's coming in with a 4-3 lead. Montana Tech looking to not get as many penalties and hopefully catch up and win. Montana Tech's roster is looking a little different this semester due to several players being on academic probation. However, it is far less players than there were last year, so I'd consider that a major improvement.
To the third period. Steppers down by one. See if they can make a comeback.
Ty Carrier at the faceoff. Western wins, wraps around the corner. Western takes it into the offensive zone, tries to dump it in. Holland's going to get there first. Carrier chips it out. Delici chasing it around. Wraps. That's going to be called icing or offsides? It's going to be called icing. Or not. I have no idea what call that was. Zero clue. Hey, Dad, if you're listening, what call was that? Text me, please. Benoit. Sends it to the side. Elam. Sends it across the ice. Delici. Of the Carrier. Carrier tries to send it across to Delici, intercepted by Western. Harlan battling. Big hit by Benoit, and he's down. Secord struggling to get up while Western's in the offensive zone. Carrier is going to pick it up after it's deflected wide. And it's a battle on the boards. Elam. Delici. Intercepted by Carrier. Cross-ice pass from Western in their own zone. Sends it up to the blue. Can't quite get a hold of it. Ripplinger is going to send it off the boards and back. Picked up by Holland. Poke check by Western. Shockey's going to pick it up at the blue and walk it into the offensive zone. By himself, battling behind the net. He's going to go wide and around. It looks like Ripplinger's there, but not soon enough. Asher's going to chip it back into the offensive zone, and it's going to be poked behind by Marana. Lumen slips and goes into the boards. Western's going to take it down the ice in his stead. Western into the offensive zone. Asher, missed check, and it goes behind the Montana Tech net. Chased down by Shockey. Battled around. Asher, behind the net. What is this call? Holding. And that's going to be a holding call on Shockey. That's his second penalty of the night. Montana Tech going on their who knows how many penalty kill. After having 2 out of the 4 goals scored against during penalty kills. It's shot around. Morena over to Secord. Secord walks down the ice. Secord down. Shot from in front of the net. Saved by Lang or wide. I believe wide. Great walk by Secord. Shot. Deflected wide by Lang. It's in the corner. Elam's going to chase it in. Brumbaugh. Sends to the center. It's in front. Scramble. Puck loose. Lang's down. And it's sent out. Elam's going to get a hold of it on the boards. And now Carrier is going to battle. Get in control. Carrier is going to send it down. And they're going to call icing? No icing. Holland's there. Holland chased that down. Big hit instead. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen Holland make so many hits without a penalty. I think this may be a new record for him. At least a notch or two. Face off, won by Western. 35 seconds left in the power play. Wrap around. Off the boards. Sent over. Grabbed by Tech and cleared from the zone. He's going to send a stretch pass over to the corner. And it's going to be called offsides. 15 seconds left in the Western Washington power play. I gotta say, I think the Western uniforms are pretty slick. Almost as good as Montana Tech's. Actually, no, I like them a lot. They're very nice. Anyways, shot on Lang, saved. Lang's going to hold on to it. We're going to have a face-off in the Montana Tech defensive zone. Woo! Hey! Sorry, Michael Jackson there. I think I might have accidentally let a few keys loose. Anyways, Montana Tech is back at full strength. And Carrier is going to make a solid push in the offensive zone. Shot right into Miranda's chest. Face off in the offensive zone for Montana Tech. 15:30 left in the third period. Carrier is going to send it back. Elam's going to try to keep it in, but can't quite get it. Send it over to Benoit. Benoit's going to send it back across. Not quite on the tape. And he goes out of a skate. After a little scuffle, it's going to be Delici taking it in the offensive zone. And by taking it, I mean dumping it behind the net. Benoit is chasing. Benoit's there. Makes a check. 11 probably should have sent that out. Carrier walking out behind the net, sends it back to the point. Holland, back to Carrier. Carrier at the top of the circle. Carrier is going to battle, send it over to Elam. Off Elam's skate. Elam tries to keep it in, and Western's going to send it behind. It's a 1-on, 2-on-2, 3-on-2. Passing, bottom of the circle, ends up going behind the net, and it's a battle. Holland. Delici. Delici getting a little handsy there behind the net. And Holland's down. Western's going to try to clear the zone, but it's going to be intercepted by Shockey. Shockey walking towards the net. He's going to send it behind the back over to Holland, but it's just to the side. Slap shot up behind the net and a tie. Shockey's going to send it towards the center, intercepted by Weston back into the board. Shockey's on it again. Ripplinger. Ripplinger sends it across again. Lots of blind passes to the center ice right now. Riplinger is going to take it behind the Montana Tech after Western clears the zone. Riplinger is going to take it down. He's going to send it over. And a missed pass is going to put it back on Western's stick. Western's going to send it down, back into the Montana Tech stick. It's like pong. Elam is going to set it down. It's going to go around the boards. Behind the net. Western's going to pick it up. Riplinger's there to intercept. Gets a stick on it. Sends it in front of the net blindly again. And there's still a batter in the slot. Montana Tech's got to have someone in front of the net here. There's so many missed opportunities in the slot that they're just not capitalizing on. All right, face off the Montana Tech offensive zone. It's going to be Inman on the cross. Back along the boards and out. Riplinger battling, sends it back along the boards. Warman back. Lots of pong. Western's going to send it around, and it's going to get into the offensive zone towards the slot, and it's going to get poked by Tech. Asher battling in the boards. Graves taking it around the net. Graves chips it up. Inman doesn't get a hold of it. It's Western. Shot from the top of the circle. Deflected wide by Lang. Western, another attempted shot. Blocked by Tech. Graves behind the net. Graves, send it out. I mean, Graves thinks about sending it out, but doesn't. Western behind the net. Shot high and wide. Off the boards, and it's out. Western looking for a reset here. Dumps and change. Asher takes a hold of the puck in the Montana Tech defensive zone. Pass to no man's land, and Western picks it up. Shot wide of the net. Tech manages to clear the zone. Intercepted by Western again anyways. It's going to make Brumbaugh battling for the puck. He's going to walk back into his own zone. Brumbaugh whiffs on the puck. Being chased hard by DeLici. And Carrier. Carrier stuffed as he enters the zone, and Western clears the puck. Carrier at the face-off in the offensive zone. Carrier is going to get the puck. Over. Shot. Goalie was down, but he gets a hold of it. Well, I don't know if he gets a hold of it, but he certainly blocks it. And that's Holland in the corner. Good effort right off the face-off from Montana Tech. Benoit's going to grab it at the point. He's going to walk towards the center. Over to Holland. Top of the circle. Shot at the 5-hole. Deflected wide by Morena. Kept in by Benoit. Kept in again by DeLici. DeLici sends it back. Holland picks it up. It's going to be Holland. He's probably going to send it over to Elam. Misses. Western takes it out. And it's now a 3-on-2. 3-on-2 over to the slot. Shot, backhand. Deflected up by Tech. DeLici's going to grab the puck. He's going to start walking down. Western with a broken stick on the ice. DeLici walks. Montana Tech's skating pretty tired right now. Western. All the way through. Shot. Saved by Lang. Face off the Montana Tech defensive zone. They try to clear the puck. Whiffs on it a little bit, and it ends up behind the Montana Tech net with Kramer. Kramer's facing some indecision and ends up in a battle on the boards. Puck comes out. Western's going to send it into the slot, but it's only Montana Tech there to pick it up. Lumen, over to Ripplinger, back to Lumen. Lumen can't quite get a stick on it, and it ends up behind the net and around the boards. Ripplinger tries to send it to center ice again. Tries to send it in front of the net. Western intercepts. Western, breakout, and it's a 1-on-3. Off the skate, and it's going to be Kramer picking up that puck. Sent out, Lumen picks it up. Lumen tries to send it back to Ripplinger, but it gets intercepted. Western, 26, chasing it into the boards, and it's Shockey on him. Gets sent around, out, and Montana Tech's going to clear the zone. Off the skate of a Western player, and Inman's chasing down that puck. Inman gets a hold of it, chips it into the offensive zone. Holland walks in. No, that's Inman, not Holland. Pass, one-timer to Warman. Warman goes down. And the shot goes wide. Graves battling in the boards. That's Inman. Graves going down hard. Graves struggling to get back up. And the goalie spins out and grabs the puck. Spinning like a Beyblade. I don't know about the rest of these folks, but I used to click those things like a madman. Face off the Montana Tech offensive zone. Over to Benoit. Shot! Right off of Moreno's chest. And it's a bounce picked up by Brumbaugh. Western walks towards the slot. Carrier intercepts. Over to Western in the slot. Shot high into the right. Off the boards, up towards the point. Cleared by Tech. Almost Holland with a breakaway, but Western steals the puck. Western chips it in. Off the net and out of play. Center on, Elam. Elam shot deflected wide off the pad of Moreno. Western picks it up to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh over to James. James with some sick hands, gets a shot on net, and it's deflected wide by Langen into the boards. Up at the point. Pass by Montana Tech out of the zone. Little slow over to Holland. Holland tries to send it over to Carrier, but it doesn't quite get there. Western resetting in the zone while Montana Tech goes for a change. Delici putting the pressure on. Sent it over to Carrier. Just missed. Western ends up with the puck. Walks it into the Montana Tech offensive zone. Defensive zone. In the corner, it's Shockey. Battle against the boards, and it looks like Tech's going to walk out with it. Kramer sends it around, almost killing our ref. Should have mentioned that it went out of play when it went around the boards. Anyways, Shockey taking the face off in the defensive zone. 7-11. 7-11. Left in the third period. Montana Tech still down 4-3. Lumen. It's going to be Ripplinger. Ripplinger down and around the boards. Behind the net. It's going to be Lumen again. Lumen battling, goes down. Ripplinger off his cage. That's going to be Western with a stretch pass over to the blue. Battling in the Montana Tech corner behind the net. More battles. It's Asher. Asher gets the puck behind the net. Western steals it. Walking out to the side, tries to send it to the slot, and it's intercepted by Tech. Back around the boards. Up to the point. Sent. Glove down by, holy smokes, Lang. Wow, that was a hell of a brain fart. Sorry, folks, I don't know how much of that you missed. I accidentally pressed a button on my headset that I'm not supposed to press. You know what they say about shiny red buttons. Actually, I don't know what they say. I just always want to press them. Anyways, Montana Tech battling in the spot. Western with a chance, deflected wide into the boards. Graves in the corner. Attempts to clear it. Western picks it up at the spot or at the point. Sends it in. Goes wide and around the boards. Up at the other point. Over to the side. Shot on net. Lang can't control the rebound, but Montana Tech picks it up. It's going to be Inman going down the ice. Inman with a shot on net. Goes wide. Warman, another attempted shot on net. Warman sends it back behind him, and it's going to go behind the boards. Graves chasing it down. Inman grabs a hold of the puck. Inman battling. Someone shouting for Sawyer. Western's going to take the puck. It's going to get sent down and off the pad of Lang. Out of play. Face off the Montana Tech defensive zone. Hollins clears it out. Carrier walks down the ice. It was a one-on-one, and Carrier loops around. Battling for the puck. Maintains control somehow, but Western ends up getting it anyways. Takes it behind the net. Big hit by Delici. Holland grabs the puck. Back up to the Benoit. Benoit sends it across to Elam. Elam's going to take it. Nope, not a shot. Tries to send it in to the slot. It's wide. Holland, shot, scores! Montana Tech ties the game. Holland with a shot just under the blocker of Morena. Face off center ice. That's Shockey. Montana Tech ties the game. Not sure who got the assist there. That's Ripplinger sent around the boards. Lumen battling for the puck. Can't quite get it. Shockey moves in. But Western's going to take it and clear it out of the zone. Or not quite. Benoit's going to grab the puck. And oh my gosh, the hands. Shot just deflected wide. Shot in again. Great move by Benoit there. What a pleasure to watch. Chipped high. Benoit tries to get a skate on it, but it ends up getting sent to Shockey instead. In behind the net. Over to Western. Shockey's there. Goes for the body. And Lumen picks up the puck instead. Lumen sends it towards the net. And it looks like Morena's going to glove it down. Much apologies, folks. I'm afraid that I will not be able to announce tomorrow, so you won't have the pleasure of hearing my voice over the intercoms. I say pleasure, I hope it's been a pleasure. But I will be back for other games if you feel like tuning in. Kramer. Deflected down. Kramer again. Warman sends it in off the pads of Morena. Inman's there, but it gets sent out by Western over to Kramer. Off the stick. That's going to be Kramer. Up past the blue. Western's going to glove it down. Send it over back to the blue. Missed, and it's Kramer again. I must say, Not getting Kramer and Keener mixed up is a lot easier when only one of them is on the ice. Rippling air battling in the boards. Western sends it to the center at the slot. Intercepted by Tech. Chips it out. And it's going to be Delici walking into the zone with it. Chasing it against the boards. Big hit. Holland's going to pick it out. Delici kicks it up. Western's going to grab the puck again. Brumbaugh walking it past the red, past the blue, and into the offensive zone. Shot high by James. And that's Benoit behind the net. Holland. Folks, we might have an overtime game. I don't want to jinx it. Although I suppose if I was going to, I just did. That's offsides. And we're going to have a call? Did it go offsides? I don't know what that call was. Oh, it's a penalty. How did I miss another one? Tech's in the box. What's Tech in the box for? Cross-checking? That's cross-checking. And then it is number 3. Benoit's in the box for cross-checking. Montana Tech will spend 2 out of the 2.5 minutes left in the period on the penalty kill. This is a crucial moment for Tech and not a great time to take a penalty. Regardless of the outcome, what a fantastic game today, folks. I'm so glad Western was able to travel all the way out here and that we'll be able to return the favor next weekend. I must say I am tempted to jump on the bus myself and watch the games. Montana Tech starting off the penalty kill in the defensive zone. Shot already. Bouncing puck in the slot. Western's going to intercept it. They're going to wrap around. Western is not coming out to play today. Not today. Right now. Oh, loose puck, wide open net. Can't quite get a hold of the bouncing puck. And it's in front of the net again. Lang gloves it down and gets a hold of it. What an opening to this power play by Western. Several shots on net in the first 20 seconds. Montana Tech battling for the faceoff. Makes it to the blue. Glove down by Asher. And Western picks it between his legs. Western walks down towards the net. Battle in the corner. Behind the net, it's Brumbaugh. Sends it to the center. Carrier. Holland goes down. But Western has it in their own zone. Elam. Delici. Sent up, down the ice, and it's going to be intercepted by Moreno, and back up to Western. Elam is going to poke it. Elam sends it out again for the second time on the power play. 45 seconds left. Western looking for a goal. Minute 20 left in the third period. Elam sending it into the boards. Behind the net. Asher's there. Western gets it up. Over towards the point. Sends it back into the corner. Walks to the center. Slot shot. Deflected wide. Asher in the corner. Battling. Somebody's holding on to someone's stick. No penalty. It's going to get cleared out of the ice. 15 seconds left in the power play. Western walks in. Montana Tech goes for a risky change. Western. Shot for the slot. Score! 1 second left in the power play. Off of somebody's skate in the center, through a screen, and just between Lang's legs. Montana Tech's going to have a really hard time tying up this game in the last 39 seconds. That said, based on the first period, nothing's impossible in those last 30 seconds. Montana Tech is going to take another timeout, their second of this third period.
They took the first time out, not Tech.
My apologies. It would appear that I was mistaken, and that Western took the first timeout. So it's still the second timeout of the first period, third period, just not Tech's. All right, Montana Tech coming in for what might be the last face-off of the night. Western wins it, sends it up the boards and down. Looking to kill time. Meanwhile, behind the net, bouncing puck. Not exactly what Montana Tech's looking for. Don't want to tie it up on the boards. 26 seconds left. Carriers walking down. Exactly who you do not want to see coming at your team in the last bit of the period. Western gets it out. Benoit. Let's clear the puck. 13 seconds left. Montana Tech trying to get it in the offensive zone. Western is battling with all their might. Western clears it again. Montana Tech. And that's game. Western wins the first game of the two-game series, 5-4. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. Appreciate the good hockey. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Well, I won't, but you'll see the game tomorrow. Adios.